Well, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has responded to the Ukrainian refugee, the 23-year-old young white woman dying inside of a bus. A black man behind her, just there's video of it, and just the after with all the blood. They don't show the exact killing. People are saying we should see the killing because we saw the George Floyd stuff. They kept showing it over and over again. They won't show this, of course, and we know how bad the crime statistics are. The point is not to try and educate you guys. I'm sure you guys understand, but this is a very niche section of the American public. We need to get other people to understand and really educate them. And I thought there was another interesting thing that Trump said today. We're going to get to this, and this is a pro-Trump account. They say that there's a huge L for everyone who said Trump doesn't care about white people. When it comes to Trump's statements on race, I would say there's a lot of boomerism within the statements. There's really not a explicit stand by Trump, like in the name of white people, in the name of defending white people. And let me just say, Trump made a statement early today about Christians and the amount of abuse that they've had to deal with. It's very similar, like Christian and white people. It's basically the same thing in terms of, it's like you can be racist against white people and it's perfectly fine. You can hate on Christians and have prejudice against Christians, but no other religion. So it's the exact same thing. So Trump's right on that. But in terms of something like this, you can see the statement. He's seen the horrific video of the beautiful young Ukrainian refugee who came to America to escape the vicious war in Ukraine and was innocently riding the metro in Charlotte, North Carolina, where she was brutally ambushed by a mentally deranged lunatic. And so that verbiage is going to be dissected. The mentally deranged lunatic. I'm not going to get into it in terms of the descriptors, but obviously that's a way to describe it that some people would disagree with, let's just say. And so, you can say what you want about that, but this is, to me, this is the perfect example. Well, listen, I'm not saying it's a perfect example in terms of this is terrible what happened, but in terms of what Trump is trying to do in these liberal cities, is this not, this is 14 times, this is what Trump says, perpetrator who's a well-known career criminal. And the people that always do this type of stuff, they've always been arrested several times. They get let out by normally black judges on soft releases, a cashless bail, which is what Trump has lobbied against 14 times. Is this not the perfect example? Because it's not even just the lack of police presence, because remember back in 2020, when they alienated the police and they said anytime a police, this is basically what it was. You arrest black people, you're racist to the police. That was the statement. And they said, go around, loot everything. You deserve it because of what happened to George Floyd. You deserve to have, remember that riot, the most property damage in the history of the United States in any riot ever. And liberals supported it. And if you didn't support it, they said you were racist. So understand where we were at and where we're still at with these people. And so Trump says this, and he's going out and he's really pushing the rights of the, and the authority of the executive branch on what he can do. And we knew Trump was going to do this. This is Trump 2.0. He's going to be more aggressive when it comes to this domestic stuff. And Trump is sitting there saying, well, I'm the commander in chief. Do I not have authority and an obligation to clean up the crime in a lot of these major cities that are virtually untouched by any type of Republican control because of the demographical alignment of these major cities? And the demographical shift, if you look at even the state of California, 1980 versus 2025, your head will spin. Like, people don't realize how quickly this has happened. And I thought Trump also said something, he's had this crusade against the Smithsonian and like the history of the United States, but he is 100% right. And Trump recognizes and realizes this is how it's formatted in terms of the history of America relative to what they think should be allowed in terms of the rampant, unrestricted immigration. The phrase is, it's a nation of immigrants, so why would we not keep allowing more immigrants to come into the United States? We all know, especially in a modern sense of the word immigrant, it's a completely disingenuous characterization in terms of the history of the United States, which was 90% Caucasian until the Immigration Act of 1965. The United States, in fact, in 1924, because we said we were taking in too many Chinese immigrants, passed strict immigration reform that significantly restricted immigration to only the European countries, mainly Caucasians, in 1924. So that's the United States a century ago. And they have this vaguity of, oh, we're a nation of immigrants, so we keep bringing in immigrants. This is not, it's a complete mischaracterization of the history of the United States. Complete mischaracterization. That's really what Trump is saying. And then he had problems with, like, them focusing on slavery. The point is that when they try and argue, they're arguing based on something that's not true in terms of the history of the United States to try and force more immigration into the U.S. So it's important to realize that, identify that, and then cut that argument off at the knees, because it's not correct based on how the United States was founded at all. Yeah, it's a nation of immigrants, Western European immigrants. Are we taking in many Western European immigrants relative to immigrants from Africa or South America or Latin America? Which immigrant sector do you think we're taking in more of? Latin Americans and Africans and Venezuelans, or Western Europeans at this current time? Obviously, it's shifted significantly, so it's a mischaracterization in terms of the historical argument that they're trying to argue. They're not portraying it in a way that's correct at all. So Trump realizes it, and he's trying to get people to understand it. But when it comes to something like this, I mean, this is good. Trump is calling it out. I was kind of surprised Trump said last night, I mean, he is the president. We have to remember that. And this is like, it's niche internet stuff. But you have to think the amount, the crazy, blown out of proportion George Floyd death. It's like, and we're not allowed to be outraged over this. Which with Floyd, he was a criminal and he was being arrested. This woman is just sitting on her phone, and they can burn cities down over that, but we can't say anything about this. And there's like 8 other events that have happened within the past year, and we know about the crime rates and the significant difference in any class. So it's just such a in the media. I mean, the mainstream media, there's going to be no coverage. We should already know that. And they're trying to wipe it off of everywhere. I saw on Reddit, there was like a Gen Z person trying to ask about, here it is right here. This is Gen Z. So this is Reddit. I'm sure it's extremely liberal. Most of these people on this, with how it is with Reddit, these people are not Gen Z. A lot of them are older and they have serious issues. Why is no media coverage for this killing of this young white woman? Oh, the post has been removed by the 42-year-old moderators of the Gen Z subreddit that asks kids different questions. Yeah, no, those are totally sane, normal moderators, Reddit mods, I'm sure. Yeah, no, remove that. Let's post another 300 things about George Floyd. And these kids get brainwashed into it, and they just a lot of these kids just have no grasp of American history and how this country was founded and the way in which they became the #1 superpower in the world. And it's very sad. And so you want to educate them, but really, how do you do that? They're in this bubble of this Gen Z with, the 42-year-old transgender mods or they them mods with the pronouns. I mean, this is who's modding over these boards for Gen Z. Oh, let me ask about the young white woman and her murder. No. Trump's a dictator for wanting to bring in the National Guard. He's the worst thing in the history of the world. Remember, that really doesn't work anymore. So now they're saying the new thing has been Republicans regret voting for Trump. That's the new thing. Trump's got like a 98% approval rating within the Republican Party. No, you're right. You're right. Oh, yeah. We've got this situation. I mean, this is just, can you believe this? It has been revealed that the Charlotte City Council paused their meeting in light of the rail incident for an hour to hold a mini birthday celebration and eat cake for one of the council members. I originally thought this was a few days prior. The dates didn't line up. Take a look at this. Here's the cake. They show the cake right there. Cake time is over. Charlotte City Council is now starting its discussion on the fatal stabbing. It's almost like after these events, when the victims are white, the response from, I mean, remember the Cincinnati mayor when the white people got beat up? Remember that response? Now we've got this one. And you take a look at all the city council members and the mayor, and it's, are we really surprised? I mean, these are the major cities now. What did this city look like 30 or 40 years ago? It's happened this quickly? I mean, these cities, they're just, it's a complete, and listen, it happens slow over time, so people don't think it's a big problem. But then it's like, oh my goodness. That's the real issue, is getting people to understand, how big of the problem is, even though it's like a slow moving car crash. But oh yeah, have your cake. Now have your cake. Have your cake, because it's just such poor taste. You've got Zoran Mondani saying he will reduce the jail population and ensure New York City courts release suspects faster. This is exactly what Trump is guarding against. And this is exactly what we saw with the recent murder, where somebody's been arrested 14 times. You've got the cashless bail because they say, oh, the rich people get out of jail quicker than the poor people, so we should just let them out with cashless bail because it's not fair. Well, no, what about the extenuating circumstances of someone being more wealthy? There's a less likely of a chance they're going to commit another crime. They don't look at any of that. And now you've got Mondani, who says, you know what? We saw that killing in New York, and we're going to do you, or in North Carolina, and we're going to do you one better. We're going to pledge to let these people out. This is exactly the problem. So he's saying the exact problem in terms of the Democrats' tagline, and this is why just the Democratic Party is going downhill significantly. The country's getting more right. Think about Europe getting more right. What that'll do for the United States. If they get more moderate, we're going to be significantly right wing within 5 or 6 years with all this stuff that's happening. You're not going to be able to contain this anymore. You're not going to be able to contain this with the media. People are going to start learning about the issues these cities have been having, and the response from the Democrats. Oh, let's have cake. No. Go ahead, have your cake. It doesn't matter. Insane. People learn about this stuff. I mean, but honestly, it doesn't surprise me with these city councils of the major cities. This doesn't surprise me. It's like the reaction, And remember, the reaction from this mayor of North Carolina was immediately, or the mayor of Charlotte, I should say, was immediately, oh, we hope this doesn't stroke more racism. And how about Brian Stelter, who, you get some of these liberals who are more online. He, of course, catches wind of this because Elon Musk has been tweeting about it. Elon Musk was tweeting about a lot of the UK stuff and the crime there. But now Elon Musk tweets about it and he starts crying on CNN. This is racist and stuff. Dude, we're so past that. It's not 2018 anymore. That's not going to work. Taglining everything as racist and wrong speech and labeling people certain things, and that doesn't work anymore. And so it's important that we understand that and we get it. I thought this was interesting. Scott Bessent saying this is a report, quote, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. Scott Bessent threatened somebody within the administration. Remember, Musk reportedly got punched, and that's why he had a black eye by Bessent after he like shoulder checked Bessent. It was reported. And so I guess Musk is basically insinuating Bessent is a real hothead, because now Bessent apparently is threatening someone else within the administration. Musk and Bessent had a disagreement on some type of, probably something to do with someone within the monetary policy of the United States or something along those lines of that. And so they got into a fight, apparently. But I mean, that's part of the reason Musk left the administration, from what I've heard. This is a total unwinnable story for them. Yes, this is in response. 0 AP stories on the attack, 0 PBS, 0 New York Times, 0 NPR. Totally unwinnable story for them. If you're a left-wing spin doctor, this is basically worst case scenario. And then at the bottom of this, every left-wing propagandist who touches this is doxing as a huge retard. Yeah, I haven't seen many of them touch this. The only ones will say, well, it's a lot of them say it's some type of mental disorder. They go to that. They blame it on that. But yeah, no, it's a terrible thing for them. I haven't heard really any of them talk about it. I saw even Piers Morgan tweet about it, say, why is nobody talking about this? This is terrible. And the thing is, with the situation like this, it's like a gateway crime for people to actually look up crime statistics, and that's when it gets really bad for them, when you look that up, because it's a compounding thing. And the more you dive into it, I mean, it's a lot of us have known these numbers forever, but with Musk now taking over X, it's becoming more apparent, and they're not able to silence these type of previously localized events. Of course, if it was reversed, this would be magnified, just like a George Floyd situation, and it would stroke the idea of victimization against, for minorities. And so you understand the media spin, and we realize it. So listen, I think Trump coming out and saying this is very good, and we'll see what comes of it. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you like the video down below. Also follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.